Thanks for joining us here on News Desk. My name is Kwabena Chencheni Boatin. Let's start off with that particular story I'm speaking of that made a lot of rounds last night, and the National Communications Authority has explained reasons why it took off 9 television channels on the KNET platform because they violated Section 2(4) of the Electronic Communications Act 2008. That's according to the National Communications Authority. Now, the Act says a person shall not operate a broadcasting system or provide a broadcasting service without a frequency authorization by the authority. The 9 channels that were taken off air on Wednesday are OBTV, ATV, Clive TV, ECN, Zoe TV, BTA, Care TV, Kesben TV, and Elijah TV. But let's try and understand a lot more as to what really pertains with this issue. We'll be speaking to the National Communications Authority on this issue, what they mean by people not adhering to this particular act. And also, let's start off rather on the note where we get to speak to one of the affected persons or parties in this particular case. I'm speaking of Richmond Kilson, who is the Chief Operating Officer for Group Indum, and they operate ATV and BTA. Those are 2 television channels that were taken off air on Wednesday. So joining me on phone now to tell us much more about this is Richmond Kilson, like I introduced earlier, and he's joining us now. So, Mr. Kilson, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us here on News Desk.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So apparently you didn't stick to the rules. You didn't have a license, yet you were operating. How is that possible?
Well, I guess it's a question that will be best answered by the NCA because we've been around close to 3 years. And so if indeed we did anything illegal, I guess by now we would have been dragged into the mud a long time ago. But also today, this morning, I had a rep of the National Communication Authority saying that indeed, we've license to operate on our own platform. PTA and ATV are part of French digital TV, of which we own. And so that concern here is that we go beyond the boundaries of our own to air on the other television platforms. Then it tells me that, look, first of all, we are on satellite. And so anybody at all who pick us, we never ask, for instance, the most media to air our program. The fact that we are on satellite means that automatically, if you have a television station which is digital, you are likely to get access to our program. And so, as far as we're concerned, we've done nothing wrong. And yesterday we went there, we spoke to them very seriously about our concern, and the advice was that we reapply, with KNET. KNET, I think the NCA has ceded its right to KNET to be dealing with issues like that. And so we've done that, and hopefully we should be back on air very soon.
What reasons were given for taking off your channels, those 2 channels?
The very reason that they've stated that, but we think if that is the case, then we should not be affected because the issue is that we went there, and I'm happy that I'm glad that he himself said, yes, we have a license, but it's restricted only to our platform. That is the first digital platform. But the point is, the concern here is that it goes beyond the borders or the boundary of our platform to other platforms. And that is not it's not fair price for it because we are a satellite-based television station. And so, yeah, people with that facility can easily get access to it. So that's really their problem.
For how long have you been operating outside the spectrum you were given?
Well, it's the spectrum we are given. We've done anything wrong. But all that I know is
because according to what you just told me, well, the NCA admits that
the point is that we've been operating for 3 years, and so if it went to other platforms, then probably for 3 years. But I'm not the one to be answering that because we never ask anybody beyond our borders to pick our feet. Automatically, it comes on. And so, for us, we don't want to have an issue with the NCA for now because we have clients, we have a population that we serve. I think they deserve better. And so, we are doing what the regulatory body is saying. After we are done with it, if there are any other issues, we pick it up and deal with the NCA on that level.
So essentially, as things stand now, both channels, that's ATV and BTA, is still off. Both of them are off.
No, it's off only on the platforms that are not part of a First Digital. But if you have a First Digital decoder, you can access. It's still on.
And you've been asked to reapply, you said earlier.
Yes, it's what the claim is. So then we can cover that jurisdiction. This is what they are saying.
So is it that you're now applying for the license that gives you the right to now broaden, operate beyond this spectrum?
It's how messy the situation is. Because the issue is that we don't, seriously, I don't really know whether there was a special license that will make you eligible for access who are not part of the platform to broadcast your program. I don't know. Maybe today they'll be telling us more on that.
Let's take a look at how some of your advertisers or your clients have been reacting to this situation. Really, clearly, this should be pretty bad news for the business.
Yes. It's been bad. It's been really bad. But it seems that maybe we need to make up after all this has settled. We need to make up for the loss of airtime and all that. We sincerely apologize to them and also talk to them one-on-one for them to understand our position on this issue and, make up time. If indeed we should give them some additional airtime, we surely will do that.
Do you have any idea when these channels are likely to come back onto the platform?
Well, as of yesterday, when we finished with the so-called reapplication and the cost elements involved, we did that. And they gave us an assurance that by close of day, that is by midweek today, we should be on. And so our representative is currently with them to trash out all these issues.
Okay, right. Mr. Kilson, many thanks for your time. But just to clarify one thing here, you did mention that you have a license to operate, right?
And that was confirmed by the NCA themselves on your statistics this morning.
So you have a frequency authorization?
Sure, because how can we operate? And if indeed you also look at our background, we are a part of group, a very disciplined group. We just can't go on and broadcast. Is it tenable? Simple and tenable. And they've been around for 3 years. So what were they doing?
And yes, so the reason they give in this statement is that you breached this act, and it's the Electronic Communications Act 2008. I just want to read a bit of the act. It's Act 775. It says, the act says a person shall not operate a broadcasting system or provide a broadcasting service without a frequency authorization by the authority. That's the NCA. And you're saying that you did have authorization.
So you better ask them. So why have we operated for 3 years? Where were they?
Right.
Where were they? How can anybody, with the advent of broadcasting now, I'm talking about target one. I know it was started by a system called IFM, and those days they clamped them down because they didn't have a license to operate. They immediately did that belonged to Dr. Rekubube. But of course, he was making a statement, and so he really deliberately breached the law to make a statement, and that's how come today most of us are owning private radio and television stations.
Right.
And so since the system was sanitized, I don't think anybody had done anything to the contrary of broadcasting without a line. Look, this should come clean, because some of us also know that, look, they have a problem with the content of some of the stations that are operating on satellite. And so if you want to clamp them down, do that.
So was that what they said to you specifically, that they have problems with the content being churned out?
I'm saying, look, we also have sources there at NCA. That's what I'm saying. Look, for now, because of our advertisers and our many viewers, we want to stretch this issue. Right. Let us come on air. Okay. We also pick up issues with them.
Okay. Mr. Kilson, many thanks for your time on News Desk this morning. We wish you well. We'll be speaking to you a bit later on as well. Richmond Kilson is the Chief Operating Officer of Group Indum, and they run and operate 2 television stations, that's BTA and ATV, that's Amansan Television, and both stations were part of 9 stations that were actually closed down on Wednesday by the National Communications Authority. Their signals were scrambled in the spectrum over there. We were told that they've breached certain acts, and the act suggests that a person shall not operate a broadcasting system or provide a broadcasting service without a frequency authorization. Well, they let us know that they've been doing this for 3 years. So how on earth that's possible? we are trying to get the NCA to respond to those particular issues. In fact, they have agreed to speak to us. It's rather unfortunate at this point in time they're not picking up our calls, but we'll still try and get them to respond to some of these issues. Once we have them, we'll continue with the conversation. But away from that now, and there's a looming conflict at Atwerebonda farming community in the Shama district of the Western region over the alleged forceful eviction of some farmers from their lands. One Nana Ntofo, popularly known as Rashid, is said to have contracted land guards to terrorize the farmers, forcing many residents to flee the town. Western regional correspondent William Benjamin Peters reports the farmers whose crops were destroyed in the process are threatening to fight back and reclaim their lands.
According to the chief of Atwerebonda, Nana Chenchen Safo III, the cell-style chief was acting as a caretaker chief when she traveled outside. He allegedly took undue advantage with the help of some people to take over about 60 acres of farmlands and destroyed farm products, including cassava, plantain, cocoa, palm trees and coconuts. Most of the lands have been given out to some Chinese who are now working on them. The chief added that the police in the area have failed to act despite several complaints lodged by victims, while some residents who dare challenge the authority of the cell-style chief are either arrested or beaten up by his supporters. She further added that most of the residents, including herself, have fled the town for fear of losing their lives. One of the farmers whose land has been taken told Joy News some of the affected farmers are planning to launch an attack on the cell-style chief and his supporters. But speaking to Joy News, the accused chief, Nana Kwesi Ntofo, says the accusations are false. He also alleged that the former chief abandoned the community since 2007 and traveled to the United States, at which instance the kingmakers decided to replace her. One of the kingmakers, Ebusuapenyin Kweku Besa, confirmed what Nana Ntofo says and condemned the former chief for making such allegations that gave a bad impression of the community to the outside world. William Benjamin Peters report from the Western region.
We are taking a break here on News Desk. We return shortly with a lot more stories, including that particular story about education. And if you're a parent or you have a ward participating in this West Africa Senior School Certificate Examination, you should be interested in the story. I will bring that to you right after these messages. Stay with us.
I need 2 whole days to tell my son's wife how to keep him happy. The Vodafone 2 Ghana offer is just what I need.
Hello, ma.
I will pen and paper.
Yes, ma.
Me educate you on how Mabanos your pen and zama.
Yo, ma.
And a penny breakfast in Chief Webbian is butter by Chumama. Nice taste.
Yes, ma.
Netai or the middle.
Yo, ma.
Now, what do read the book of Malachi and Sanawada until you show orthopedic pillow bed.
I'm using too much credit.
Me use Vodafone 2 Ghana. I have 2 whole days to talk.
Sign up for 2 Ghana and get 2 whole days to say it all with 250 minutes to Vodafone numbers. Call 5544 to choose this package.
Bathwater should be 104 degrees Fahrenheit, not Celsius.
Vodafone, power to you.